Hello guys, this is Dr. E from DrESkateboard. Welcome to my skateboard channel where we focus on electric skateboards. Today I want to really talk about electric skateboard battery design. And I was actually talking to was that QS Service on Facebook. This is one of these guys that build e-bikes. He's actually here always commenting. Thank you, guy. But I was talking to him the other day and he was telling me about, you know, he's always telling me about battery packs. We're always talking volts and current, and he's always suggesting to me stuff that are not really, you know, used in electric skateboard. The first thing he was talking about was, why don't you use, you know how you saw my video of me making a battery pack without a battery cell holder. Now a lot of bigger vehicles like a Tesla, I think they have a battery holder, right? Like most bigger things like e-bikes, cars, blah blah blah, they have room. There's room to put all that stuff. But electric skateboard, you really don't have that room to really put battery cell holders. So I think that's why most commercial boards actually don't use one. But if you do use battery cell holder, your board just becomes big as hell. If you look at like boosted board, I think, let's actually look at it together. Let's actually move this up. I think boosted board actually has it there. Let's go to boosted board battery disassembly. And that's why I think their boards are like super huge. Oh no, they even boosted, you can see they don't use it. Yeah, there's a reason. There's just no room to fit the battery, because once you put the battery cell holders, your length gets bigger. Okay, this is a boosted battery, and the problem is there's the space. A board usually is going to be like, I don't know, like 9 inches, 10 inches, depending on how big the board is. And well, you know what? I have a deck I can show you here. I have a bunch of decks. So here's one of my original regular skateboard decks. And to make it possible to fit a battery underneath. Now you've got boards like tramp boards where put it on top. But I don't really like that design, because if you fall off or something, your feet slides off, your battery box is in the way. I just feel like it doesn't look good either. It's just like you got this really nice car, but you got a like big hump, like. So battery design, you don't want to use a battery cell holder because it's just gonna add space. And I see a lot of like e-bike or car, other people who build bigger battery packs for bikes, let's say e-bikes, and they build it vertically, and you can't do that because where's your clearance gonna be? Wheels are this small, but your battery pack is this big. So there are some things to think about when you're building an electric skateboard. I feel like space is very limited. And that's something you have to think about. And also, like BMS, can you use a smart BMS? Some people do. If you have like a super large longboard type board, then you have room to put it. But you know, BMS is also another topic we should talk about. But when you use a super large BMS that can handle 100 amps or more, you end up with this BMS that's like this big. I use a BMS that's like tiny. The only thing it does is charge. It's literally size of a hard disk SSD. Right? And the size of, yeah, it's like a size of a. It's actually size of like this. It's literally, that's what I just put on. It doesn't really matter so much for skateboards, I would say, because your battery pack's a lot smaller than an e-bike. So I think. It's good ideas. I mean, of course, if we could, we should use battery cell holders. And I actually ordered a bunch of battery cell holders when I started building skateboards. But once the battery holder came in, and once I started putting my battery pack before I, you know, spot welded, I realized that oh my god, this is not gonna work. I'll have no space, I'll have no clearance. So I ended up, what I ended up was just using hot glue, and that's the best method because you can just get it together. And I also worry about, oh, if the batteries are so tightly knit together, is that gonna be a heating problem? And that turned out to be false too. I think because you don't use so much power out of the pack. Battery pack should be also designed with in mind that you don't try to take more than 70% of its maximum current output. So I think when you build skateboards, you should also think about your battery pack. If you're gonna travel 5 miles to work every single day, don't think about making a battery pack that goes 5 miles, because that means you're gonna deplete the battery all the way, and your battery's simply not gonna last long. The way to make these lithium-ion batteries last longer is actually to not even charge it to 100%, maybe charge it to 95%, and most importantly, only discharge it to like 20% or 30%. If you do that, you'll get 2,000 to 4,000 cycles. That's almost like 10 years of battery life, versus if you discharge it to like below 10% every single day, then your battery's only gonna last maybe a year. I mean, it might last longer, but you'll lose a lot of capacity and power. So that's something to think about also when you build a battery pack for your DIY electric skateboards especially. You should really consider building one that's designed to handle a little bit more. 20-30% that would be a good thing. To be ideal, I would build, if you're gonna travel, let's say 5 miles to work, build a battery that can go 10 miles. Right, that way you only use 50%, and you have some left over. The important thing is you always think about having that extra range is always good. And also, it's not just about range. When you build a battery pack that large, you're gonna have less voltage sag, which means more instant power. Where I live is very steep hills, Daly City, which is right by San Francisco. So we have hills. Like I live on my house is literally sitting on a hill like this, on a 30% grade. I measured it too. So I have to, my boards has to actually go up these steep hills. And the thing I have to think about is that when I first started building electric skateboards, I built these mini batteries, right? And I'll put it on like a single hub, no, a dual hub. And what would happen is these batteries would cause, by the time I reached almost reach half the hill here on my street, the batteries would heat up like crazy, and the board would just stop working due to self-protection. So when you don't have enough power capacity and you're going these, if you live on steep hills or somewhere where you're gonna need a lot of load, or maybe you weigh 400 pounds, and you're riding a skateboard, it's just not gonna work, and it's gonna kill you. That's another way to kill your battery. So you really gotta think about the capacity, and the safer it is, safety too. So if you want to make it safer, you build a battery pack that's a little bit larger, handles more. You build let's say you want a 30 miles per hour skateboard, then you build it so it can go 35. So you never have to hit 35, but your board's not working so hard. The battery, the motor, everything. But I think, well, the battery is probably the most important component of an electric skateboard, because the battery will determine how much power you have. Again, back to voltage sag. A lot of packs have voltage sag, like 18650 batteries. Most of them have voltage sag, and that's why electric skateboard build these giant batteries, like 10s 5P, 10s 6P, 10s 8P even. But that's completely unnecessary these days, because we have much better battery tech. Skateboard companies are now using newer batteries for their newer packs. What's that skateboard company? Well, you'll see a lot of companies actually use it. So actually, we can check out like companies like Meepo. I bought one that they had the new Samsung 40T. There is Onboard. They sell Samsung 40T also, I think. They don't put it on their main boards yet, but Slowly, we're seeing a conversion of companies using basically Tesla batteries. So I've got the Meepo Mini 2. Now you can order here with different types of batteries. Oh no, not the Mini 2. It's the Mini 2 ER. Oh, I don't know what happened to it. Meepo Mini 2 ER. Yeah, they stopped selling it. Let's look at onboard here. So onboard M1 also, they have the shorter board versions, and you can see two options. So the 20R is the crappy 18650, and then the good version is the Samsung 40T, the 21700 Tesla batteries. And why use a Tesla battery when 18650 is cheaper? Because with electric skateboarding, you need to build a board that's gonna fit. It's gonna be more compact. In terms, see, you can see the Mini 2 ER. This one also comes with Samsung 40T, and the difference between these two technologies. So 18650, let's say 30Q is most popular electric skateboarding. That one only does on paper 15 amps maximum output. All right, but Mooch, the battery tester guy online, he has said you can do 20 amps, which I think is about right. But the Samsung 40T is on paper rated for 35 amps. We can actually look at the data sheet. The way you find these things, and just go ahead and Google it, whatever type of battery you have. And if you go to imrbatteries.com, you can actually download the data sheet, and this will tell you exactly. So Samsung 40T, 4000 milliamp hour, that's the capacity. Now what's really important is the maximum continuous discharge. So the 40T is actually rated for 45 amps, so long as your battery does not go over 80 degrees Celsius. That means companies like Tesla can add cooling and actually take advantage of this, right? But obviously we're not gonna have cooling yet in most electric skateboards or on your DIY electric skateboard. So we're gonna be probably stuck with 35 amps. Now Mooch did a test and he says the safe value is actually 30 amps. There is also Samsung 30T, which is also 21700. It's the same size as the 40T, everything exactly the same, but the discharge capacity is 3000 milliamp hour. But that one, Mooch has said it actually stands up to 35 amps. So you have to use these values and build your battery. Now, again, going back to why 21700 batteries are way better than 18650. You got 30 amps, let's say 30 amps versus 20 amps or 15 amps. That means you're getting almost double the power without stressing the battery out of the cell that's slightly bigger. And overall, your overall battery pack size is going to be smaller. And that's the key to electric skateboarding. Now the prices are still, I think, cheaper with 18650, and a lot of people are still using that. But I see in the next few years, all the SK builders probably gonna move on to 40T, and there's gonna be something even better. So it's really exciting times, and yeah, battery tech is certainly one of those out there. And I've started building my own batteries from scratch. Not too long ago, maybe, was that like 5 months ago, 6 months ago? And I knew zero about skateboard batteries, but I have a very good background because I used to work at a computer chip company, so I'm always circuiting and doing volts current all day. So that helped me sort of, get through it, and I almost burned my house down one time. It shorted. You make stupid mistakes. But my last battery I built, I put it on my Icebox skateboard, and it runs really well. It's a 12S4P. It's 688 watt hour. So that's almost a 10S7P, which has about 20 watt hours. Yeah, it's pretty much a 10S7P, but with almost twice amount of power, maximum power. even if you don't use the whole thing, that means even if I'm using, let's say, 100 amps from a 12S4P versus 100 amps from a 10S, wait, actually, can a 10S7P do it? So 10S7P, let's say 20 amps per cell, and in 7, oh, that's about, that's still about the same. It's still, it's actually the same amount of amps, I think. 30 times 4. Oh, it might actually do a little bit more. But you end up 10S7P, you end up with this giant long battery, all right, versus 12S4P. It's gonna be lighter, it's gonna be thinner, all right, or the overall size of the battery pack. We're not looking at individual cells. So really love it. The battery pack working really well right now. So I'm testing it right now, and you know, I still have boosted board batteries. I think what are those, 2? I'm sorry, it's too early here. Anyway, it's getting kind of long. I just want to tell you a little bit about the battery tech behind electric skateboards. And battery tech is just the key to really building your electric skateboard. And I don't actually advise anybody to build your own skateboard, electric skateboard batteries, unless you have some experience with circuits, because you really, you know, and you have to really understand how volts work, and you know, do a lot of math, because you're always trying to figure out the watt hours, blah blah blah. But it's not too hard to, you know, learn. If you really want to do it, I would just start slow and start building yourself like a small battery pack. Those are fun. You can build yourself like a USB power bank if you want. A lot of these old, newer, bigger ones, like this one here, actually has 18650 batteries, and it's actually shaped like a battery pack. I actually opened one of these up. I have it somewhere here. So these 18650 and 21700 batteries, they're everywhere. Actually, they're just, you know, any kind of portable device that needs a lot of power, you're gonna see it. Yeah, that's about it. Have a great day. I'm gonna just keep uploading a lot of content here, but yeah, I'm gonna try to make the Icebox skateboard into an actual product. And you have not seen the final product, so don't judge my product yet. I'm still working on upgrading the chair, making it more functional, you know, making it easier to ride, make it safer to ride. But it's gonna be a badass model, and I'm not gonna sell the box board, the smaller version yet, because that means I'm gonna have to mass produce them. Instead, I'm gonna build 6500 watt, just like the one I have, super powerful with really nice off-road wheels, so you can go off-road, and your ride is super comfortable, and you got a nice cooler, Icebox cooler. And the way I'm gonna probably try to sell this is just the skateboard parts with the holes and everything. That way, and tutorials on how to assemble it. That way I can sell it as parts, and that way I can save money on shipping. You will save money on shipping, and you just buy a box, or you can buy an Icebox yourself. You can buy a Yeti Icebox if you want, Coleman Icebox, and then you have to buy your own chair. You can buy any boat chair and just push it on, just drill four holes, put some neoprene and put it on there, and it just boom. So that's coming. That's just an idea I have, and if I do a Kickstarter, if it works, I'll do it. If I don't get enough orders, I can't make it into business, then I won't do it. But I think I should just try it, because everywhere I go, people are like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" They love it, and some people really want to buy it. I mean, I already literally have, like, I would say at least 100 orders just from people who want this in real life. And I think if I could get some traction online, there's a lot of people that's gonna want it. Not traditional skateboarders, because this was really designed for non-skateboarders or people who can't skateboard, or people who need a mobility device, a personal mobility device. So I go down to the beach every day. I just call it my mobile office. And the greatest thing is to, you know, I live 2 blocks from the beach, but it's such a steep hill. To walk down there, it's really easy, but to walk back, it's just like, oh, you know, even though it's only 2 blocks, walking back takes me like, I don't know, 10 minutes. So usually I get in the car, park it there, get out, and do whatever. But if you drive to the beach in your car and you're sitting in your car and working, it's like you're not really out there. So what I do is I take my Icebox, get on it, open my garage, and drive down there. And here's the parking lot. Here's the parking lot. Here's the cliffs, and then here's the beach. So what I do is usually I just park in the car, or I get out and walk around. But that's no fun, so I take my Icebox skateboard. Since it's off-road, I can go to the edge of the cliff, and I park it right on the edge of the cliff. And that's the things you can do. Or I'll go to the park, the beach park there, where the cars are not allowed, and it's about a mile inside. I actually made a video on my main channel. There's a drone shot. I'll link it in the description below. Check out the ending, and you'll see how far I'm off from like civilization. And Icebox skateboard allows you to do that, and with the seat. The problem is, you know, you go outdoors, and I usually don't stay for long because there's not a comfortable seat. So when I go out to the beach, you know, on my skateboard, I just skateboard, maybe hang out 5 minutes and come back. But now the greatest thing is I take this Icebox skateboard, I spend hours on my laptop, or bring my dog, and it's just a completely different experience. You know, it's almost like going, you know, day camping or something. So I think that's something that can be very, very useful to a lot of people, especially now with COVID-19. You want to get away from people, you want to be in nature, you want to work outside. And I even have an umbrella that helps me work outside so I don't get too sunburned. But I got way too sunburned before the umbrella is causing me. Anyway, too much talking. Dr. E signing out. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you guys in the next one.